Hey there, mother lovers, and welcome back to Last Call at McLaren's, the best damn How I Met Your Mother podcast on the interwebs. That's right, I am Josh here with my brother, my best bud, John. How you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent, man. It's been a couple
Yes,
weeks since we've gotten to record, so I'm really happy that
that's
we're
right.
back.
Yes, I came down with a pretty nasty cold last week, and we weren't able to put out an episode, but we're
Yeah,
back.
we're really sorry, mother lovers, that we had to delay you for a week.
It's true,
Unlike
but
fall break, which delays you like 6 weeks.
that's also true. But we are back for the penultimate episode of season one. We're on episode 21, titled "Milk."
Yes,
That is right.
and don't confuse that with the movie Milk.
That's true. Very
Starring
different.
Sean Penn.
Yes. Very different. You may pop that in being like, yes, I'm going to watch some How I Met Your Mother. And you'll be like, well, this ain't How I Met Your Mother. Great movie, though, but definitely not How I Met Your Mother. Yeah. All right. So let's. Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched it, but I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. Sean Penn was fantastic in that film. It's true. All right. So, season 1, episode 21, Milk, originally aired on May 8th of 2006, right after John's birthday.
Hells yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Directed, of course, by the great Pamela Fryman, and written by series co-creators Carter Bays and Craig Thomas. The summary for this episode reads, Ted is forced to postpone a date with the perfect woman, while Lily needs his help. Barney recruits Marshall for a vicious prank war. That's right.
You know what's really sad is that after the fact that this show is now officially over, we could change the synopsis.
We could.
Ted postpones date with mother of his children to
I
save
mean-
Lily's stupid ass.
I mean, it's never actually confirmed that it is her, but I go into a little bit of detail about that later on, so we'll definitely.
No, I thought they did confirm it because they talk
No.
about how.
No, because there's some things that don't necessarily line up, but I'm still choosing to believe that it's her. Yeah.
But I can't wait to hear it then.
Yeah, again, I'll dive into some stuff. I went on a little bit of a deep dive looking into this. I was on Reddit and things like that.
Deep dive.
So yeah, we'll get there. This episode sees the return of Love Solutions, which we saw earlier,
Yeah.
as well as the return of Wendy the waitress. We finally get to see her again. It's like her second or third episode in this season so far. But she comes back. And speaking of Wendy the waitress, if you guys have not checked out the interview I did with actress Charlene Amoya, who plays Wendy the waitress, please go check that out. It is on the podcast feed as well as on the YouTube channel. So go check that out.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's jump into the episode. Future Ted starts things off telling his kids the story of when he turned 28. You know, that big milestone, the big 2-8, John.
I was going to say, the big milestone. Pretty sure I worked my 28th birthday.
I mean, worked most of your birthdays, really, so it's probably true. Probably true. So we flash over to the bar. The gang is there. Party hats on. Ted has a crown on. And this is where we get Wendy the waitress. She comes over with some birthday lasagna.
Hell yeah.
I mean, shit, man. If somebody wants to make me a birthday lasagna, I'd be all for it.
I will
just
put
putting
that
out there. Yeah, I'm just
saying.
saying.
I'll put that into the somebody's bank.
I love me some good lasagna. But he is warned that the plate is quite hot. Quite hot. Ted can tell that Lily she wants to touch that plate. She wants to touch it so bad. And he's like, go ahead. She does and burns her finger. And this starts the episode's lesson, I guess you'd say, of the whole sometimes you need to make mistakes in life thing. It's kind of like a running thing throughout the episode. And this is where it all kind of starts off, is with her making the mistake of touching the plate. Barney then gives Ted his birthday gift, the greatest pickup line of all time.
I have to say, it's a pretty solid pickup line, but the delivery is really dragged out that I feel like that girl would have walked away.
Yeah, you're probably right. I make note of this later on, but I really feel like this is one of the first plays that we get to see from Barney.
I wouldn't doubt that, because this one's very elaborate.
Yeah, this is definitely. I could see this being in the book.
I want to know if he was waiting for that girl to get up, or if she just happened to be like the first one he came across.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's a good question.
Because they don't really tell you if, like, because, like, you know, when he does the 7 for 7, he calls it the one day. He's like, that girl. He doesn't really do that with this one. He just happens to get up and he's like walking and he's like, hey, you know, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, sit down.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but like you said, he walks up to this random girl to introduce himself, stops, calls out for an ambulance, and then has her sit down, which I think is hilarious. We need an ambulance here. He's acting all panicked about it, yells out for like a glass of water, to which Wendy, the waitress, brings over. You know, she pulls out like a little flashlight. He's checking her eyes with a flashlight, which I think is hilarious. And meanwhile, during all this, Robin, she's over here at the table doubting his pickup line, you know? And like I said, this is definitely a play in the playbook. I have no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind about it.
And they're also, while they're talking about the play, they're also talking about Ted turning 28.
Yeah. And, you know, like you said, because Lily makes the comment that it's only 2 years away from the big 3-0.
Yeah.
And this is then future Ted starts talking about his 30th birthday and mentions the goat, which later on we find out isn't actually his 30th birthday. It's actually his 31st birthday. But the episode that is his 30th birthday is hilarious because we see stuff with the goat and then he realizes, wait, that wasn't my 30th birthday. So we'll get there eventually, but they make us wait a whole extra year to find out about that shit.
I mean, that's fine though, because that's the way they do it is well delivered.
Yeah. But I love that they set this whole thing up essentially 3 years in advance. You know what I mean?
True, but I figure because like you see a couple things in this episode that kind of make me feel like they're setting up stuff in season 2 as well. Yeah. You get a pre slap off here with like the whole universe conversation.
Yeah.
And there's a point later on where Barney.
Well, that's in the next. That's in the next episode. That's in the.
Next you're right. No, that is the next episode.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what happens when I watch 2 episodes at the same time. They kind of blend into each other.
But yeah, they do. In general, they actually do a fairly good job of setting up some cool stuff throughout all of season 1 that just kind of filters throughout the whole series.
They do.
Which I love that they do that. They're pretty good about their continuity. Sometimes not so much, but some of their like long-term continuity stuff is actually really good.
Yeah.
So we go back over to Barney, and some paramedics come into the bar, which is this I found really funny because as I was doing my research, I discovered that the 2 actors who played the paramedics are actually the series creators and the writers of this episode, Carter Bays and Craig Thomas.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. They played those paramedics. The only thing
I want to know about this entire thing is he screams for Wendy the waitress, to call 911.
Mm-hmm.
She legit calls 911 dispatch.
But she doesn't. Because he says, you know, thank you to Wendy the waitress. And she takes a bow. She was in on the whole thing.
She's in on it.
Yeah.
Never mind.
She was in on the whole thing.
For some reason, I think I blanked on that because I'm like, you know.
Yeah. Her and the 2 paramedics who aren't paramedics.
Well, I knew the 2 paramedics were in on it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I thought he was just thanking her for being such a good participant.
Oh yeah, but and that's how she had the water ready so fast when he called for the glass of water and everything. Yeah, she was ready for it all. So Barney, he's like I said, he's freaking out. Quote unquote freaking out. He says that she may have some internal bleeding, maybe some fractures, and this girl is really confused. Barney says that she has had a terrible fall. She's like, "No, I haven't." And Barney replies, "Do you remember what he says?"
Yeah, he goes, "Really? Because I could have swore you fell from heaven Angel, wink,
Bing!
or yeah, Bing. And I love how and then he's like, everybody's kind of like, haha, and then he's like, and then he's like, give him your number.
Yep, and then everybody starts chiming in on that, and I thought that was great. That was great stuff.
I love how on the first one he's like, give him your number. What?
What?
Give him your number. And I love how everybody starts joining in, and then he's like, they're not going to stop until you give me your number, and she's like, okay.
And she does, man. It fucking works.
I mean, hey, it worked.
Yeah. And this is where he just reveals that it was all kind of essentially a ploy. That Wendy the waitress and the paramedics were in it, but the paramedics are actually actors from a local playhouse. And this is where we actually learn Wendy's name. We didn't know her name before this.
No, yeah, that's true. She was just there.
She was just a waitress before this. She didn't have a name. And he says, Wendy the waitress. We finally get her name. 21 episodes later. Granted, she was only in 2 episodes or whatever prior to that, I think. But we do finally get to hear her name at this point. So Ted says that he realizes why he's still single. And it's because he's picky, John. He
is picky, though.
Yeah. And he's not just going to settle for anything. He wants the perfect girl.
He wants the perfect girl.
And he describes
credentials off of his checklist.
Yeah, he describes this perfect girl as attractive, college educated, wants 2 kids, a boy and a girl, likes dogs, Otis Redding, does the crossword, is into sports, but not so much that her legs are more muscular than his, because that freaks him out. And she plays the bass guitar.
So here's my question for you, because this is the 3rd time this has come up in the show. Now, do me a favor, just so I know you're not cheating on me. Hands up in the frame for me. Boom. Name 1 song Otis Redding is famous for.
No idea.
Shout.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had no idea who did that song.
Besides that, I can't think of any other song that Otis Redding has ever done where I'm like, oh, man, I got to be this big Otis Redding fan. I'm not even 100% sure he did shout, but I know he's at least performed shout. And I know, yeah.
I'll be honest. They said Otis Redding. I'm like, I honestly have no idea who that is, and I'm okay with that.
I'd thought about Googling him and then pulling up his CD and seeing what was on that second disc. Yeah. That was so important. But I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. But if you guys want to check out the second disc on Otis Redding, you go right ahead. And hey, how about this? Tweet us out a review. Let us know what you think of Otis Redding.
You can, if you know any other Otis Redding songs that might be good songs, maybe I should check out. Let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Just give us the deets on the Otis Redding.
Do we get in trouble if we sing on the podcast?
No, we don't.
Okay.
Yeah, you can sing to your heart's content, my friend.
You make me want to shout through my hand. You're a Bills fan. You know that song.
It's true. I do. Didn't know. They had no idea who sang it, so that's all. That's all there is to it. But he says he's going to let that girl find him. He's done planning the unplannable, John. He's done with that.
But wait, because that is not how it happens. Well, kind of is.
It is kind of how it happens.
Because little does Ted Mosby know, but that is at this exact moment, just across the city, a computer. Hold on. Little does Ted Mosby know that far away in a distant time, a computer doing its job has found Ted Mosby, the perfect woman. Da da da.
Da, da, da. Apparently, I was looking on the fandom wiki page. It claims that, so you know how when it flashes over to the computer, there's a bunch of pictures of guys, and it's going through, and then it lands on Ted, and it says match. They claim that one of those guys in the montage is Sandy Rivers, and I watched it 4 times. I kept rewinding it, and I'm like, I do not, and it goes by kind of fast, but I'm like, I did not spot Sandy Rivers at all in that thing. So I don't know.
Either.
I think they may have just been seeing shit. But if any of you have seen Sandy Rivers, in that little montage? Let me know.
I was gonna say you might want to rephrase that because if you're gonna say has anybody seen Sandy Rivers, we're gonna get a lot of tweets.
You know, that's okay. If you've ever seen Sandy Rivers, send us a tweet. Doesn't matter. Man. Could be in real life. Have you ever had a picture with him?
Oh my God! If you've ever met him in real life, tweet pictures with him because that would be amazing.
Yes, at last call.
Let me rephrase that. If you've ever gotten your picture with anybody from How I Met Your Mother, tweet him at us. I would love to put a montage up on Twitter of the well, Josh will do a montage on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be fun.
That would be amazing to see.
Yeah. All right. So back at the apartment, Lily has made pancakes.
Pancakes.
Ted decides he's going to take that plate of pancakes. He's going to go over to Marshall's room. Opens up that door, wafts it in there a little bit. And Marshall just comes, he just beelines it out there, which I think is hilarious. I don't know why that scene makes me laugh so much.
Well,
I think it's just the way he...
Apparently there's something super magical about Lily's pancakes because like they make reference a few times. Like there's a scene, I believe it's in season 2 after she first comes back. She makes pancakes and bacon strip for herself.
Yes, pancake and bacon strip. Yep.
But I don't remember if that's after they've gotten back together or...
No, it's because they're not together yet because she's messing with him.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's before they've gotten... Remember, because like he takes the legs off his pants and shows off his calves. He's like, they're trying to get to one another at that point.
Hey, he's got some amazing calves.
Yeah, it's true.
I would just like to point out that Jason Segel is such a brave man that he has shown his penis in a movie.
That's true.
Not get him to the Greek. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yep.
Bears it all.
Which I still find funny because his name is Marshall in the show. I'm just saying. It all links together, people. It all links together somehow. So, like I said, Marshall beelines it out of the room because Marshall's all about food, man. Especially in this first season, like all about food, whether it's pineapples, cake, pancakes. It doesn't matter. He's all about the food.
I was gonna say he's definitely an eater in the first season.
Oh yeah, man. I don't know. I'm curious to keep track as to whether or not that keeps happening. But that first season, he's so much about the food. Well,
it's funny because for the first couple seasons, I know at least season 2, they do a decent amount of him eating too.
Yeah.
But then I think it's like either the 3rd or the 4th season, he goes through that stretch where like he's always working out and trying to be athletic because he thought he was like putting weight on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean, if Jason Segel wasn't constantly cramming food in his face.
That's true, man. And enjoying the fuck out of it. So very much.
I mean, I can't really argue.
Marshall makes a comment that he should cover Lily in syrup and gobble her up.
And Ted's like, please don't.
Yeah, because I made a note here. I was like, and quietly from the kitchen, you hear Ted say, don't do that. And I cracked when I heard, because like it's so like toned down, like because it's just in the background.
Oh yeah,
and he's just like, don't do that. It's hilarious the way they pulled that off. I don't know why. I literally had to pause it because I was laughing so hard.
I mean, you and I have had situations like that when we lived together.
Yep.
Where one of us would be like messing around with our significant other, and like we would be doing something stupid and be like, can I at least leave the room first? Like,
yep. Definitely has happened. More so to me.
I don't know what the hell you're talking
about. So Ted then tries some milk from the fridge, which is, where we're getting the name of this episode from. And the milk is not good, man. It is not good. He spits it out.
Because, like, I have a thing, like, I check the date first.
Always. Yeah, I check the date. I open it. I give it a smell test.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He does neither of those things.
And I feel like if it was that bad to where he's like, about to throw up, it would have probably smelled.
Well, that's it. He doesn't even like check either of those though. He just picks it up and goes, "Is this milk any good?" Like, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're an idiot.
Like if I smell it and I'm like, I think it smells okay, then I'll take a little tiny sip, not like a big swig like he does. A little tiny sip, and then I'm like, okay, that seems good. Or not so much.
I'm 100% with you on that one, man.
Yeah, it's just like watching him do that. I'm like, oh, because I've had bad milk before in the past. It has happened where
a bad choice.
Milk was a bad choice, and I try not to make that mistake ever again. Because
I'm with you.
Not.
I can honestly say now I don't have to worry about that as much because now I'm not doing dairy anymore.
Oh yeah.
I do lactose free milk.
Yeah.
So ours doesn't spoil on a regular like that anymore.
Yeah, it has a longer shelf life. Yeah.
Oh, it has much longer shelf life.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to get through my milk before it goes, but sometimes it just doesn't happen,
I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I found out my little dude has a lactose problem, and I switched up my dairy intake because of that, it's done me a lot of good.
Yeah, good, man. Very good. I mean, I don't drink a whole lot of milk as it is, but
dude, I used to drink a lot.
I do love my cheese.
Well, see, that's my problem. I do like my cheese, but I kept that part of my dairy. But I was also I would buy a gallon of milk, and then it's or even if you buy a half gallon, you use a little bit to cook or something. But you want to make sure you're getting your money out of it, so you're drinking that and stuff. And too much dairy, and it screws up your stomach. And
it does. I try to just eat cereal, and I'll be honest. At this point, if it's questionable, even if there's a half gallon in my gallon jug, I'll dump that thing.
Oh yeah,
sometimes
you just got to.
Yeah, it's I don't want to risk getting sick because I'm I gotta drink this milk. I'm it just doesn't quite smell that great, Nah, I'm not gonna be a Ted Mosby over here. But he's like I said, he spits it out, and then he asks Marshall. He's like, "Why didn't you throw that away?" While putting it back in the fridge.
Well, yeah, because Marshall says, yeah, that got me yesterday.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, why didn't you throw it away? And he puts it back in the fridge. But that also comes back up later on, too.
Yeah.
When Ted and Robin are dating the second time. No, when they're roommates.
Oh, yeah.
The arguments is about the empty milk container in the fridge.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, why the hell would you put an empty milk container back in the fridge? And it's to remind myself to get more milk.
Yep.
And I'm like,
so there you go. What you should have done, okay? If it's that bad, dump it out, put it back in the fridge then as your reminder. There you go.
Fair enough.
I think that would have been the better idea. I mean, it's better than just leaving the bad milk in the fridge. I don't know.
That is true. I like though that Lily's sweet enough to at least say she'll pick up milk after work.
Yeah. So Marshall, he's loving the pancakes, but he's bummed because this is the high point of his day. And
which is kind of sad.
It is sad, He's got this job, but he doesn't really like his job.
He doesn't.
He wants to be doing something else with his life, and good pancakes is his highlight. I mean, I've been there. I've been there where food is my highlight of the day. That's definitely been a thing.
I get it.
So
then we've been there.
Yeah, I think most people, well, maybe not all, but most fat people have been. Yeah, there we go. We love that food. We flash over to Barney's office, and Marshall comes walking in. Barney is looking out the window with a pair of binoculars and tells Marshall to come look. He's spying on a guy in the building across the street. His name is Clark Butterfield, and he is from the firm from across the way, Nicholson, Hewitt, and West. This dude is eating a sandwich that apparently Barney did something disgusting to, but we don't actually know what he did. But it's apparently something pretty nasty.
Almost makes Marshall throw up.
Yeah, exactly. He sends a picture to Butterfield of what he did, and Butterfield just looks disgusted. And apparently this has been a long-running feud. So I have a couple notes about this. I was really hoping that Nicholson, Hewitt, and West was another movie reference. Because you remember how in the Mary the Paralegal, talked about how the firm that she works for was the names of the Kryptonians from Superman. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is something like that. And I was like, wait, okay. Well, Nicholson and West, that's Batman stuff. We got Jack Nicholson, who played the Joker. You got Adam West, who played Batman. But I could not find a single thing for Hewitt. And so I was
Hewitt.
Yeah, how's that related to Batman in any way?
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just the three names that they decided to put to it.
Yeah, I guess. But I was really hoping for some sort of geek thing because we had
Unless
Superman.
Maybe Hewitt was one of the like producers or something on Batman.
I mean, I didn't find anything when I was Googling it and stuff, but I don't know. I was a little bummed that it wasn't something a bit more obvious the way it was with the other one. But I did realize something else as I was doing my research. Nicholson, Hewitt, and West comes back later on. They are the firm that Marshall goes and works for instead of the NRDC in season 3.
Yeah.
In Ted Mosby's Sex Architect.
Yes.
Yeah, the one where John Cho, I think, is like trying to woo him.
Yeah.
He's putting the moves on him.
Well, and that's the thing. I remembered that was at least it comes back because I remembered the name.
I only remembered the name from this episode. I had forgotten that it was that was the same place. I was like, oh,
I couldn't remember though if it was the guy from Harold and Kumar or if that was the one that Garrison Coots worked at.
Oh, Coots. Yeah, no, Coots is the NRDC.
Oh, okay. And that's the guy that's played by Martin
Short.
Martin Short.
Yeah.
Okay. So I couldn't distinguish the two in my mind, but I did remember that Nicholson, Hewitt, and West did come back.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought that was cool that they brought this place back.
Although never thought about that with the whole names until you said that either.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think we necessarily would because like we had just recently, just a couple episodes, talked about the other.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like Nicholson, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
West, I figured that one's way more obvious than the other one.
It's true, and maybe the Nicholson and West part are because of Batman, and maybe maybe the creators knew somebody with the last name Hewitt, and they just wanted to throw that in there, you know. So maybe it is still tied to it, but I mean, I wasn't able to find anything. That'd be something to ask. If we ever get a chance to talk to the creators, I want to ask them if Nicholson, Hewitt, and West has any significance because the other one did, and I really was hoping that this one would. Okay, so Barney says he needs Marshall to help him with this feud. Marshall does not want to do it, but Barney kind of stops talking to him because of it. Yeah. He shuns him, essentially. He even calls his secretary in to tell Marshall that he's no longer speaking to him, which I thought was a hilarious little gag that they did. Then we get back to the apartment. Ted gets a call from Love Solutions.
Love Solutions?
That's right. They tell him that after 6 months, it has been 6 long months, they have finally found his soulmate. And he is shocked, John. Shocked. And then we cut to Ted at Love Solutions. I think there was like a commercial break, so we just get it's like an abrupt cut to Ted at Love Solutions. And he asks the guy, what happened to Ellen, the woman who was running it before. And all he says is that his company bought Love Solutions. He never actually says what happened to Ellen. Why is that, John?
Because she probably fucking killed herself. She was having like a mental breakdown at the end of the
Dude, I think that's been a running gag that we've done on our show since pretty much the beginning. And I think this is probably one of the first ones that may actually be true.
Like they came in and she's just like swinging from the fucking ceiling and they're like, oh, great. Like, well, at least this person matched.
I could legit see because she was having like a full out breakdown by the end, because she failed and she had never failed before.
She fucking hard,
and so, but it just took 6 months if she just stuck it out. But maybe they're just like, we're taking over, you can go. Like, who knows,
right?
And maybe she offed herself after that. I don't know. I have no idea.
There's 17 cats.
Yes. I could go into a whole nother thing about that, but I'm not gonna. So the guy gives Ted the file and says it'll be $500.
$500 fucking dollars.
Yeah, but that it'll be worth it. And I'll be honest, if I was Ted, I would have been like, no, I was told this would be on the house. Ellen promised me I wouldn't have to pay for this because she failed before. I'm not paying $500.
Ellen promised it'd be on the house. The new company doesn't have to honor that.
Yeah, and I think that's bullshit. $500, like really, guy?
Yeah.
Like,
I put that number in my head for a specific reason anyway, for shit that happens in this episode.
Okay.
Because, so I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here. But he spends $500 here. He spends another $90 fucking dollars on a cab ride.
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck is Ted just getting a random $600 to just fucking drop randomly?
Yeah, like he's not super shy about spending money.
No,
he does not have money problems.
No, but he has like the $600 he spends in this episode, and then in the very next episode, which is only like a week later, he has to get the quartet.
Well, I'm pretty sure he didn't pay them because they talk about the pizza. I literally think he just like found some people and be like, yo, you do this 10 minutes, I'll get you some pizza. Like, I feel like he didn't act because, like, why would they be worried about pizza if they were getting paid?
That's true.
I feel like he was cheap about that one, and it's probably because he spent $600 fucking dollars here. He's like, man, I spent all my money, but yeah, he's like a low-level architect.
Yeah,
you know, like not that far out of schooling for it. Hasn't really had like a big break in the architecture world yet.
Yeah, we don't even know like he's working on projects because at this point they don't ever mention any.
Yeah, we just know he's an architect, and that's it. And so it's like, where is he getting? We don't even know where he works.
No,
you know what I mean. And so it's like, it's kind of almost like Barney, but like at least we see Barney at work.
Yeah,
you know, we can see that he's doing something in the corporate world, and so it can explain why he has money. Ted, I don't know. I don't have no explanation as to why he has all this money. So Ted reads the file, and this woman checks every one of his boxes.
Every one of them.
And this is where I kind of get into the things. Is this woman Tracy, the mother? Some people, like I said, I did a little bit of a deep dive. Some people definitely theorize that it is. So, what do we know about Tracy? Tracy turned 21 right around the time of the pilot.
Yep.
Her boyfriend Max died on her 21st birthday in September of 2005. This episode is May of 2006, so it's 8 months after that. Okay, after her beloved died.
Yeah.
It could be plausible to me that she was kind of pushed by her friends to start looking again because it had been 8 months, and maybe she was convinced to sign up for this Love Solutions thing because obviously she wasn't in the system before.
True.
This woman was just recently got put into the system and then was matched up with Ted. And most likely she wouldn't have wanted to do this. So I think that she was probably signed up for or pushed to sign up for by one of her friends. And I was thinking maybe she was even signed up without her knowledge.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? And it could explain the age disparity that Ted, because like in this episode, Ted says this girl is 28, just like me. But she's only 21 at this point in the show.
Yeah.
So theoretically, the friend could have just lied if a friend set it up. You know what I mean? To get her more possibility. You know what I mean? Just put that she's 28 because they want guys to think that she's older. You know what I mean? I feel like it makes sense, but I could also be stretching. Also, what we know about her, after Max died, she says that she didn't date anyone for 7 years until she met Lewis.
Yeah.
However, this could still work because her and Ted never actually meet.
Nope.
So what I was thinking was maybe because Ted, like she says, okay, I'll do this. Maybe her friends push her to do it. She finally agrees to it. She goes to meet up with Ted, and Ted bails, which we find out later on. I'm jumping ahead, obviously, but Ted bails and never shows up. And maybe that's what pushes her to say, you know what? This dude didn't even show up. Fuck that. I'm done. I'm not doing any of this. and that's why she waits 7 years. You know what I mean?
I love that you're deep diving off of like this profile, and you're clearly forgetting the conversation she has with Ted in season 9.
What?
She tells Ted that was the date that they were. She tells him at one point they have a conversation, and she goes, "I was supposed to have a date at McLaren's. Love Solutions had set her up a date."
Oh, nobody. Any of the research that I did, nowhere mentions that.
I'm pretty sure she mentions it.
Yeah, nowhere. Not on the wiki, not on the Reddit, not on any of the other random theory pages that I found.
I'm gonna have to jump ahead to season 9 and watch a couple of those episodes because I'm pretty sure there's a point where she's telling Ted that like it was all the coincidences of when they could have met.
Yeah.
And like the whole roommate thing, and then I'm pretty sure she talks about McLaren's at one point, and she's like, "Oh, I went there once for a date, and the guy never showed up."
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't find anything about that, but no matter what, I think again, other than the age thing, which can be explained by just lying on the application thing or whatever, I definitely think it could be her. If you know what I mean. I think it would make sense. I think it would fit in real nicely.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. And it would really kind of push that whole they were meant to be whole thing. So, but yeah, that was my deep dive for that. All right. So back in Barney's office, Barney asks Marshall to try his coffee because he thinks he gave him some decaf. And apparently at this point, Barney is now speaking to Marshall again.
Well, with purpose. Like
I know, but he was like he shunned him. You know what I mean? He was done with this guy.
Well, the thing that makes me laugh is that he's like, because he straight out says Marshall's like, he's like, yeah, try this. I think they messed up my coffee order, and Marshall's like, I should clearly be pissed off at you, and we're gonna ignore that because I'm in, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like this dude had nothing to do with that. The Butterman. He had nothing to do.
Butterfield, yeah.
Butterfield?
Yeah. He then shows Marshall a picture that Butterfield sent out, like you were kind of mentioning there, about whatever he did to the coffee, which disgusts Marshall. And I want to know what some of these things, like what is so bad that makes them so disgusted in all these things? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, this one, I'm assuming it had something to do with like maybe Butterfield's dick in the cup.
But like it's like hot coffee, unless maybe it's like a shot of him coming in the cup. You know what I mean? Like other than that, I don't know what I don't know what it would be. I have no idea. So then at the bar, Ted is waiting on his date at McLaren's. Who, like I said, I am going with that. It is Tracy.
You are indeed going with that.
I am. He got there early, and he's sitting there and he's waiting. And then he gets a phone call from Lily. She needs him to come and help her change a flat tire on Marshall's Fiero, but doesn't want Marshall to know about it. Yep. And Ted begrudgingly agrees to this. He doesn't want to because he's got a big date.
Well, yeah, and she's also like a decent distance away.
Yeah. Apparently she's out in Dutchess County, and I was looking and I was reading something, and it said like where she was going, she wouldn't have gone through Dutchess County. Huh. Like it's like going through Dutchess County would have added like an hour and a half to her drive or some shit like that.
Maybe she just didn't want to get caught.
Maybe she's just like, I'm just taking weird back roads. I don't know, but she wound up in Dutchess County. He takes a cab ride out there. And we mentioned earlier, $90 fucking
$90. So at this point, he spent almost $600 in this episode.
Yeah, and I wrote down in my notes, Lily should be paying him for that fucking cab ride.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, because like we all know that Ted doesn't have a car. A lot of people in New York don't have cars, and Ted is one of them. And for her to be like, you got to come out here, knowing he has no actual way out there and that he would have to get like a cab, like she should be over here paying that $90. Like that's ridiculous.
Dude, and like I said, $90, that's crazy.
It's a lot of money. And I understand she's a kindergarten teacher, but you know what? Maybe don't do stupid shit. You know what I mean? Do stupid shit, have stupid consequences. There it is. That's
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's the way it is. So Lily tells Ted what's going on and that she's been freaking out about the wedding. She's having insomnia and things like that. She found an art fellowship in San Francisco while, up late at night and kind of like Googling shit. But the dates conflict with the wedding. And the reason that she's out there is because the interview is tonight. And so Ted thinks that she doesn't want to get married, as I feel like most people would think at that point.
I mean, it's not like it's not plausible.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you be doing this otherwise? Of course, she denies it. But then Ted points out that they live in New York City, a massive hub for the art community, and that she could easily find some sort of fellowship or something there. But she's choosing one that's on the other side of the country, thousands of miles away, and she doesn't tell Marshall about it. So, like, it's obvious that it's more than just about, it's this fellowship. Like, she could find something else close
she
by
could.
if she really wanted to explore her artistic side. And she finally admits that she's having second thoughts, but claims that she doesn't have them anymore. And just like the multiple times that we've seen Ted lie to himself about things that he's doing, Lily is lying to herself and to Ted about what is going on here, as we see over the next episode. Though, as I said, she's claiming that she's not freaking out or that she's not having second thoughts. She's still freaking out, and she's wondering why Marshall isn't doing anything crazy. And then we get a quick shot of Barney and Marshall making a plan to send Butterfield a box of 100 white mice. Because Marshall is doing kind of crazy things.
I mean, he is, but
not in the way she is. But
yeah, I was going to say, not to the level she is, but
yeah, he's taking any stresses about it that he may have and just kind of doing like reckless type stuff while she's over here doing reckless stuff for the relationship. His reckless stuff is just kind of himself.
I was going to say, I don't think, because like she said, though, he's also not really stressing the wedding either. Yeah. He wants to get married. She's not,
he does.
Sure.
It makes me wonder if he's feeling her stress. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
If it's kind of like rubbing off on him.
We know Marshall has a huge freak out the day of.
That's true. That's real true. Ooh, we'll get to that though. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So Ted fixes the tire, tells Lily, "Don't do this. You don't want to do this." But she tells Ted she wants him to come with her, and Ted's like, "Nah, I can't do this. You're making a mistake." But Lily says that sometimes you need to make a mistake in order to be able to look back and see that it's a mistake, which is a big running theme in this episode.
Yep.
And like, I get that as a concept, but like, if this mistake costs you your entire relationship, is it really worth even making? Like, I don't know, man. Like, they've been together for 9 years.
And this is part of the series that I've never understood.
Yeah.
Okay, so they obviously knew at this point they were renewed for a second season.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why it doesn't end with him and Victoria, like, high hopes, like, or her being the mother or anything like that. But it's like, okay, so you're driving this wedge between your major, like, this is one of Ted's foundations of, like, this is what love is. Marshall and Lily know love. Mm-hmm. And now you're going to, like, have this wedge getting driven in there, and then it's going to, like, start to spread. And then by the next episode, boom, they're gone. They're done. And then they spend most of season 2 fighting to get back together. Yeah. And it's like, you're showing your main character that this is what love is. Love isn't worth fighting for. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, it's true. And the fact that she is running off, seemingly running off to this faraway place. It's not the first time she's done that.
No.
They talked about in an earlier episode, and I'll talk about it more later, how she went off to Paris for this art thing in Paris.
Yeah, when she was in college.
And it almost destroyed their relationship.
Yeah.
She's sitting here willing to do that again.
Well, it's like Ted said, though, too. New York is a fucking art. It's essentially the melting pot of the art community. Like, there are so many different medias of art out there. Yeah. You've got, like, bohemian art. You've got, like, modern art. You've got classic art out there. I mean, there's got to be some way she could have done this and not sacrificed her relationship with Marco.
Yeah, absolutely. But she just wants to run away. That's really what it is. And she is determined to do this interview. She gets in the car, she takes off, and she leaves Ted just stranded on the fucking road.
Yep.
And so obviously Ted doesn't want to spend another $90. It's because otherwise he could have called a cab, but he doesn't. So he calls Barney to come pick him up, and Barney says he can't do it.
Can't.
Which I find interesting because this scene does not coincide with Barney's character later on. As we learn, he doesn't even know how to drive, let alone own a car.
Yeah.
Yet Ted is calling him to come and get him. And Barney's like, it seems like Barney could. He just is unwilling to.
True.
But like I said, as we learn later on, that's not a thing. So there's a bit of discontinuity with his character here.
Well, I thought about this one too. Why didn't he call Ranjit?
Yeah, I mean,
clearly they knew Ranjit by this point. He was the taxi driver. He did the New Year's favor for them.
Yeah, if he's getting a cab, why the fuck wasn't it Ranjit? I feel like Ranjit would have given him a free ride. I really
do.
Or at least a discounted ride. Probably wouldn't have had to pay $90 for that shit. Yeah.
He probably would have found a way to help him.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. That would have been a fun way. That would have been a fun way to get him back in the episode or like in the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we don't see him in the next episode either. So he's done for the season.
Yeah, he was done for the season after New Year's.
And I looked ahead into season 2. He's only in one episode in season 2.
Is he?
Yeah. So it would have been fun to see him here somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if it was on the way there, he's the one who brings Ted there.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't stick around, it would have been fun to have seen him, but so we head back to Barney's office. Marshall loading up a box full of mice. Ted because like I said, Ted had called Barney, and Barney ain't gonna do it, but Marshall says he will. He's like, I'll come and get you in the Fiero.
Is that Ted? Put him on. I'll talk to him.
Yeah, he's like, I'll come and get you in the Fiero, and Ted's like, oh no, man, I was just messing around. It was just a prank. He's like, so you're not in Dutchess County?
Yeah,
that's a weird
prank. Barney's like, what are you doing in Dutchess County? He's like, picking apples.
Yeah, apple picking.
And then I love how Marshall's like he says something and he's like, what? A guy can't go and pick apples?
And it's like dark out.
Yeah.
Too. It's like it's not like it's daytime. It's nighttime, and he's claiming he's out there apple picking, which is hilarious. I think what would have been funnier, right? Like later on, like if because Barney says that out loud, about the apple pick, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It would have been hilarious if like Marshall asked him about apples, like, yo, we got any apples? Or something, like later on, just something like that. I think that would have been funny if the apple picking thing had come back.
That would have been funny.
Because Marshall has no idea what's actually going on. Marshall expresses how much fun he's had. He's talking to Barney. This is after the whole thing with Ted. He expresses how much fun he's been having working there, and is doubting going to the NRDC, which he has not told Lily about. So many secrets going on here, John. So many secrets happening. This couple, they need some better communication.
They do.
So back on the road, a van pulls up, and it's Robin in the Metro News van They're to save the day and get Ted a ride back home. Robin is wearing a hat because apparently she got some highlights, and her hairdresser made her look like a tiger, apparently.
Yeah, they tiger striped her.
Yep, they tiger striped her.
I love how Ted gets into one line, too, where he's like, because she tells him, and he's like, I bet they're great.
They're great.
I was like, ha.
Yeah, that was a solid Tony the Tiger reference there. I really dug that. Kids, if you don't eat cereal, Tony the Tiger is the mascot of Frosted Flakes. I don't know how many.
I mean, they're great.
I feel like if you don't know that, then you just have a sad life at this stage.
And if you're not chewing Big Red, then fuck you.
That's also true. So Robin asked Ted about his date, and he starts telling her about the girl and everything. And they get to the bar finally as you know they drive off, and they kind of cut to this. She wishes him luck. He's nervous, so she decides that she's going to show him her hair. Well, he specifically asks for it because she was going to show him her boobs.
You skipped the most important part of that ride.
Okay, let's hear it.
The most important part of that van ride home is where Robin confesses that she might want to have kids and stuff. That she's decided
that she doesn't want to have kids.
No, I thought she said she might.
No, because like he's telling her all the stuff about this girl that he's going to meet. She's like, does she want kids? He's like, yep, 2, a boy and a girl. And that's when she's like, you know what? I don't think I want kids. And because that's the whole thing. Ted wants to get married. Ted wants to have kids. And
you're right.
She's putting this out there. Boom, laying it right on the table. I don't think I want kids. And it almost makes you think, well, then, it ain't going to happen for her and Ted until what we see pretty much right after this. After she drops
immediately
him
after
off,
she drives away.
He drives away, and before Ted walks into the bar, he realizes, I mean, they don't say it, but, using visuals, they tell us he still wants Robin.
Oh, yeah.
And he does
the weddings, like the whole him standing at the altar and him staring at Robin. I was like, really? Could they draw that one any thicker? Like, fuck.
Yeah. And he wants to be with Robin, and he bails on meeting this girl. He bails on Tracy. Which is probably a good thing because there's no way in my mind that if they had met up now at this point, that they would have made it.
No, they would not have worked.
Neither of them were ready.
No.
Ted needed to go through this entire journey that he goes through in order to be ready for someone like Tracy. And Tracy just lost the love of her life. She wouldn't have been ready. She needed that time. She needed to meet and be with Lewis and so that she could then be in a place where she could appreciate and be with someone like Ted. So I think it's a good thing, people, complain about what they do and how long they stretch this out. But I mean, it wouldn't have worked otherwise. It really inside the universe of the show, they wouldn't have worked if they'd met right here at this stage. It just wouldn't have worked.
No, not at all.
All right. So he goes upstairs. And because, they live right above the bar. And Marshall is telling Lily the story of what he and Barney were doing with the mice. And he is so, excited to tell this story.
Dude, he's so excited.
Yeah. And Ted is surprised to see her there, which so am I, because she takes off, goes to the interview, wherever this interview is, right? Ted, I mean, granted, I know Ted has to wait for Robin to pick him up, but how the fuck did she get there before him?
Fuck, who knows?
You know what I mean? Who
knows?
How did she go to wherever she was going, have this interview? You would think an interview for a fellowship like this wouldn't be super short, especially if she has to drive all the way out there. You would think that. Okay, it would be a little bit of a longer interview. and then drive all the way back and still beat Ted home.
Who knows?
That got me. I was like, how the fuck is she here?
Convenient plot.
I guess that was what, like, he was shocked to see her because he knew where she was going and what was happening, and I think he didn't think she was going to come back.
Yeah.
I was just shocked because she shouldn't have been there already. But, that's just me. So they have this little kind of coded conversation about milk. But really, he's asking her if she got the fellowship. And she said, and here she says she did. Okay. Yeah. But in the next episode, she gets the call that she got it. So, like, how did she know that she got it? You know what I mean?
I'm wondering if she's just saying to be like, I got it.
I had the interview and I nailed it, and they're pretty much like, maybe it was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not very specific on that one.
They're not. Yeah. Because, like, as I was watching the next episode, I was like, wait a minute. I thought she said she got it. But though technically she never says that she got it. He's just asking her if she got the milk. And he, he goes on to ask, are you gonna drink any of the milk? And she's like, no, I'm good. I don't need any milk. Which I think it's a fun little conversation between the two of them, because it kind of shows how connected they are. Yeah, which you don't see a lot, which I really liked.
I like Marshall though here, because Marshall's like, guys, milk is important. You get your vitamins from there.
Vitamin A, vitamin D. Oh, man. Gives you strong bones. But Ted has to tell us about this date. Because Marshall has no clue what's going on. And Ted tells him he changed his mind. He doesn't want perfect. He wants Robin.
Dude, and Marshall's reaction here is priceless.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that at this point, we don't know that the bet box is real and that it is a thing.
Yeah.
Actually, it might not exist yet at this point.
Oh, maybe.
But his reaction either way is priceless, because he's like, oh, Jesus Christ! And he stands up and he's like, no!
Yeah.
And then they fade to black.
I kind of like to think... they don't quite fade to black here. Because Ted says, he makes this little speech first. He says, even if it's a mistake that he has to make. Yeah. The whole thing. And then there's like a little montage of the mistakes that they make throughout the episode. We see Lily burning her finger, Ted drinking the milk, Robin's hair, and then Barney with the box of mice. Except the mice have chewed through the box and escaped.
And one's on his shoulder.
Yeah, and that's how they end the episode, which I think is hilarious. Clark Butterfield over here getting a one up on him, because Barney was making mistakes.
I don't ever see that guy in much, but I know he's in the movie She's Out of My League.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So,
but I'm pretty sure we never see him again in this show. No. Why is that, John?
Well, I'm assuming because Barney probably poisoned him.
So it's the one person in the show who didn't kill themselves.
I mean, we don't know that. I mean, theoretically he could have, but I'm going to assume Barney commits murder.
Maybe.
It might not be purposely done, but I mean, like, he doesn't really know this Butterfield guy beyond, like, their rivalry. You could have done something that could have inadvertently caused him to go into, like, a anaphylactic shock, or...
Yeah, who knows? Anything. Because he like I said, he doesn't know this dude, and he could be allergic to something. Who knows? But that is season 1, episode 21, Milk. As we always do, John, what are your final thoughts overall about this episode?
I mean, I like it as an episode. I hate it for the story because I know where it's going to.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, this is the reason why I don't watch season 1, because the last few episodes just can't take it.
I get that. These last couple of episodes, it's really building toward what we get in the finale. And the finale, the ending, it hurts. It really hurts,
Yeah.
And and it causes a lot of hurt for like the first six or so episodes of the next season because of that. But I totally get that. But yeah, I like the episode overall. I feel like it gives us more depth into the characters on the show, as opposed to like, a great storyline, episode. It's more about the characters. So like, I like that aspect of it. But yeah, I think I agree with you. Knowing where it goes, it's hard to watch some of these sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, folks, it is that time. Time for your favorite part of the show. Barney's blog. Suit up, bitches. That's right. All right, so this edition of Barney's blog, we've been talking about this person a lot throughout this episode, and that is Clark Butterfield. So this blog entry is titled "An Open Letter to Clark Butterfield."
Oh boy.
It's dated Tuesday, May 9th, 2006, 10:35 a.m. Says, to all employees of Nicholson, Hewitt, and West, from Barney Stinson, R.E. Clark Butterfield, to whom it may concern. We all know Clark Butterfield. Great guy. With the big ears and the weak chin. But how many of you, his co-workers, truly understand what a great man he is? Well, I do, and I can be silent no longer. Knowing he would be too modest to ever share his accomplishments himself, I write to you all so that if you get a chance, you can stop by his office personally and say thanks. So thank you, Clark Butterfield. Thank you for your tireless work on behalf of the recently imprisoned. Thank you for agreeing to mentor 6 to 8 residents of an undisclosed halfway house in Jersey, taking them to work with you day in and day out for the next 3 weeks. Thanks for meeting them in the lobby every morning, beginning next Tuesday at 5 a.m. sharp. They're early risers. The recently imprisoned. Thanks for helping them get a fresh start. Thanks for making Nicholson, Hewitt, and West a friendlier place to work. Thanks for that basket of free latte vouchers you keep on your desk, just in case someone's having a bad day. I bet a lot of people don't even know about that. Thank you for offering to take everyone out to steaks today after work to celebrate the opening of your one-man, 10-minute, semi-autobiographical play, I Am Clark Butterfield. I just hope they aren't too starstruck to take you up on your kind offer, since we all know it's good eating when Clark's treating. Maybe you'd be kind enough to do a monologue or two from your show. I bet everyone would love to see that. I know I would. Thanks for volunteering to build houses in Tijuana during the months of July and August. I know it took you forever to save up all that vacation time, and to spend it helping deserving families help themselves. Well, it makes me almost speechless to think about it. I don't know why you picked July and August, though. It's going to be really, really hot down there. Be sure to bring plenty of water. Finally, in light of all these good works, I ask that all the employees of Nicholson, Hewitt, and West please be kind to Clark Butterfield. I know what some of you have been saying about him, that he's personally off-putting and has sweaty palms. I know it's easy to pick on the guy with the strong personal scent and the novelty ties, but that really only hurts people who have to work on his floor or go to meetings with him. So next time you're about to rip on Clark Butterfield, take a moment. Think about how, by helping society, he's really helping everyone. Head on up to his office, grab a coupon for a free latte, ask to see his wallet photos of needy Cambodian children, and say thanks for all of us. Yours truly, Barney Stinson. So, that's a pretty epic prank to shovel on to Clark Butterfield.
Yeah, because, if he doesn't do any of that shit, he looks like a total douche.
Seriously, I love the whole going down to Tijuana to help build houses in July and August. And the bringing recently incarcerated people to work with him every day for 3 weeks is hilarious. Mm-hmm.
Went down to Tijuana. Must have been about July.
August.
But
yeah, I thought that was a great little little Barney the blog entry. Right, good stuff. And that, folks, was Barney's blog for this week, and that is our episode. Season 1, episode 21 of Last Call at McLaren's. That's right. The Bitchin' How I Met Your Mother podcast. The best one on the internet. You don't need any more. Just listen to us. John, where can everybody find you?
I mean, if you really want to find me, you can go right over here to Twitter. Right down. Right there. It's Simply Saying J1. It corresponds with my podcast, Simply Saying with Jay, or my blog. Well, I mean, that corresponds with the podcast. But I also have a blog called Simply Saying with Jay. Just posted a new episode new blog last night about Halloween. So, check that out.
It was a good read.
Huh?
I said it was a good read.
Oh, thanks, bro. I forget that he checks it out. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. If you want to find me on Facebook, it's J. John Made. Those are the two big places to find me. I'm not as popular as Mr. 17 Blogs over here. Because, if you want to find him, you can go on Twitter at JP Raynor. That's JPRAYNOR.
Boom. He's getting better. Oh, yeah. You can also check me out right down here at Movie Blog Merc. That is the Twitter page for my site, Merc with the Movie Blog, on which, if you're watching this, you are watching it on the Merc with the Movie Blog YouTube channel. Be sure to hit that like button, smash that motherfucking subscribe button, and hit that little bell. Ding-a-ling, ding-dong, ring-a-ling-ding. Hit that bell if you want to see some more shit.
I was going to say ding-dong, the bitch is dead.
Something. And be sure to check us out if you like just listening. You can head on over to Anchor or any of your favorite podcasting platforms and just look up Last Call at McLaren's. We're there. Leave us a 5-star review if you like what you're listening to, and we will read that out on air. If you head over to Anchor, you can actually leave a voice message, which we have played before. We had one before and played that on air. We'll do that. If you have questions or comments, we always want to hear from you. Check us out on Twitter at Last Call HIMYM. That's Last Call HIMYM on Twitter. Send all your funny memes, your pictures, like we said before. If you have pictures with celebrities from the show, we want to see it. If you dressed up as a How I Met Your Mother character or something, some sort of reference for like a Halloween or just like a cosplay or something, I want to see those pictures.
Yeah.
We're recording this.
Like hanging Jad.
Yeah, man. We're recording this the morning that I'm going to post this. So it's the day after Halloween. And so I want to see all that stuff. I hope you guys had a safe and happy Halloween weekend. And that's about all I have for them, John. So I don't know about you, but I'm ready to head out. What do you got for them?
You don't have to go home, but you can't listen here.
That's right, folks. Peace out, mother lovers.